Apple water.
Don't make fun of me.
No, I'm not making fun of you.
You're making fun of me.
No.
It's like down here. He's making fun of me.
Absolutely not.
Okay. This is silly. What's aloe water? That sounds unhealthy.
It's this stuff. That's this stuff. It's really good.
Can I try it?
It's really good. It's sweet.
Have you tried it? Really? Then don't talk shit about it, man. Oh, it actually is good.
Bam. Oh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow, getting a little
Look at that.
bisexual back here.
I get the perks. This is definitely on camera.
It is? I want to see.
This is crazy right
You
now.
guys have been having technical problems or something?
No. It's working just fine. Well, it's working just fine. This is crazy right now.
Wow, waiting on Tara. How BM. Wait, this needs to be attached to me, right?
This is good, man. Thank you.
Does it need to be attached to me? This? Because we need to be on Skype, right?
No.
So I'm just looking cool?
No, you're on mic.
How am I on mic?
Pro.
Explain!
So, basically, I like the background. Basically, we use technology so we could plug as many mics.
We use technology!
mics as we want to.
Thank you, Dr. Zealot. You are absolutely
The
nicest person.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
TT,
reopen.
give me back your big ass water. Give it. Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's so good.
It is so good, right?
That.
How is that cologne?
This is the cologne I'm wearing, as you can see. It comes on a card. It's like.
Oh, you got your cards.
Put 'em
Thank
on.
you. Oh, I love this. So good.
Here. Reopen it.
You have me smelling it? No.
So ladies and gentlemen, you do like this, and then you. It smells good. It's like those cards.
Does it actually smell good? Because I didn't smell anything.
It doesn't.
Oh my god. Oh, I need to tweet. Dude. What is going on here?
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay. But we do have this really fancy picture-in-picture, so you can see both us and the game at the same time. So you can see that we're on the game lobby. We're waiting for a couple things to happen before the game gets started. See, look at that! Isn't it so fancy? Isn't technology awesome?
Yes. We're waiting on a couple things, aka Tara needs to get her crap together.
I was being nice. I was being nice.
He's like, it's not all Tara's fault.
It's also my fault.
Why? Because you've been here casting all day and I just like show up and I'm like, yeah, I'm not prepared. It's okay. We'll get this going. Guys, this is an advertisement for aloe water. Looks like backwash, tastes like heaven.
Wow.
Oh my god.
In a more serious advertisement, GameClux is sponsored by Plantronics. As you can see, Tara, she's wearing this amazing Plantronics headset right now. We get Plantronics headsets here when you come to GameClux. So, if you decide to come to the LAN Center, you're in Linwood, Washington, or you're in the Seattle area, definitely drop by, say hi, play some games. It's fun. It's a thing. You should do it. Ten out of 10 mutant cyborg chipmunks agree that aloe water is what you should drink.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Can I see the documentation for this claim?
It's right here. It's on the back.
Is it really? Dude, he's messing with me again, isn't he? Wow, there's nothing on the back but nutritional facts.
Actually, I need to fix something real quick. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
It's slash GameClux, right, for Twitch?
That is correct.
Wow, I was trying to autocorrect to game clicks. Because that's a thing.
Should we go ahead and get the game started?
Yeah, we can get the game started. I'll just look
Alright.
off of yours for today.
All right, we're gonna ready up one more time to make sure that the players are ready to rock.
We're gonna ready up. Raid.
Appears that Nameless is not ready. Can we
Probably
find
out searching for
can
a
we find
name.
out what's going on with Nameless?
Dude,
Oh, Nameless is ready. The countdown has begun, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go into the grand finals of the StarCraft 2 Platinum and Diamond Division. It's going to be on WCS Ohana LE to begin with. Tara, I'm really excited.
Me too. This is actually my first time casting a live event and my first time co-casting, so I'm quite nervous and quite excited at the same time, and I'm full of caffeine, so I'm ready to get this shit on the way.
All right, well, Tara, let's go ahead and introduce the players. Up here in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran. Why so intense?
And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran, Nameless.
This is going to be a sick matchup. We did see Nameless absolutely decimate everyone throughout the entire bracket. He really took it well. And we saw some great games already out of Why So Intense versus Nameless earlier in the bracket stages. But Why So Intense, he wasn't really as confident in himself as I feel like he should have been. And these games will prove to see if he sticks with those builds that he knows so well.
So, Dr. Zealot, I have the unique, nice burp there. I have the unique disadvantage as a caster, having not seen any of the previous matches. So what can you tell me about the playstyle of these two players here?
Both Why So Intense and Nameless, I would say, are positional Terran players, especially Why So Intense, but including Nameless. They do like the macro game, but they don't like to macro up so much. They do like to go into sort of 2-base, maybe 3-base play, and then go ahead and go for either an all-in at that point, or get some siege tanks up and try to position and zone the opponent out of their base, really.
Are we seeing like strict mirror matches here where it's like Marine Marauder, Medevac tank, and they're just trying to see who can out-position one another and out-macro and micro one another? Or do we see like quick expands, lots of expands taking the whole map?
I would say we definitely do see the early game is definitely varied. Sometimes the timing of the natural is very different. One player might go for an early expansion, the other might go for maybe a Banshee timing or something like that. But in the end, both players end up equalizing out and then eventually getting their siege tech up and going into sort of a mid-game there.
This is really especially exciting for me since I play Terran, so that's the race that I do know most about. And it's kind of interesting that they're both going for an early gas rather than going for one Rax expand and into that orbital command, and it looks like second gas is even dropping down for Why So Intense. So this is going to be interesting for me because it's definitely not the playstyle that I usually go for when I'm playing on ladder.
Yeah, that second gas for Why So Intense is signaling that he does want to go for maybe a little bit more tech. Maybe he wants to get a Banshee out so he can do some harass. He definitely does not want to expand as quickly as Nameless wants to expand here, but already grabbing the factory, he wants to go ahead and get some Reactored Hellions out.
Yeah.
Oh, and surprisingly, we're not seeing Reactored Hellions from Why So Intense here. Actually, he's just going to go ahead and build a tech lab. That might be that Banshee timing that we're talking about.
Yep, I'm seeing that 111 drop down for Why So Intense, and it looks like Nameless is going for more of like the Hellion harass early on. So we'll see who can just kind of deflect that attack and whether or not he'll be able to keep going with his 111 if that harass is coming in his front door like that.
We might actually have Banshee play out from both players here. And Why So Intense actually falling a little bit behind on his macro supply, 19 to 27. Nameless just staying keen and being really clear on that on that macro play. And yeah, it's going to be the Banshee. It's going to be the Banshee for both players now. Are we going to see Cloak?
One Banshee in production, it looks like. Why So Intense actually got his out a little bit quicker. Sorry for interrupting you there. I'm like on hyperdrive.
Before you got over here, you got in the Millennium Falcon and you turned the hyperdrive on.
A little bit. It's called Nas energy drinks, actually.
We do have the Cloak coming out. Oh, but did he cancel it?
I think he just canceled it. Wow.
Whoa,
interesting.
Why So Intense? I wonder what he saw that made him cancel that.
I wonder if that's intentional or if it's just a misclick or what's going on there, because I don't know. Maybe he's trying to save up the gas for something else. Maybe he saw this Hellion issue here.
Here we go. He's got to be super careful so that the Banshee isn't seen. The Banshee is going to be a defensive Banshee, it looks like. Meanwhile, the Banshee for Nameless is going to be hyper aggressive, just going directly across the map, ignoring the fact that it could be spotted anywhere. But of course, he's already taken map control with these Hellions. Spotting the fact that he hasn't taken the expansion yet and poking up the ramp here. He's trying to draw all the units to the front here so that the Banshee can get some more shots off on these SCVs. The Banshee moving in, he's going to get some critical shots.
Oh
One
my god.
SCV goes down, and these SCVs are just going to drop like flies. Why So Intense? He's got to react to this, and he pulls all the SCVs. But he's not,
Oh, but they're coming back.
he's not doing any mining.
Yeah, the fact that he's not doing any mining and he already lost so many workers, that's going to be pretty terrible for him this early in the game. He needs that macro. It's a, mirror match, which is difficult. And they are both expanding at the same time. It looks like Why So Intense got it down a little bit earlier than Nameless.
This Viking will come out, and it is going to be able to pick off this Banshee before
Nice.
it gets back to base. Well, if he decides to not pursue it, then it won't. But he is going to go for his own Banshee harass. Now here's the name of the story. We have 24 supply to Nameless's 53 supply. Nameless almost double the supply of his opponent, right? Actually, more than double of the supply of his opponent right now. Already taking his expansion, throwing a bunker up there at the front, and finishing up Siege Tech. Nameless, he's taking a strong lead right now in this game.
That's right, Dr. Zell. And it looks that even though Why So Intense got his command center down first, he didn't put it down at his natural. So it looks like Nameless has been mining for quite a bit longer than Why So Intense has on his natural. And it looks like these Banshees are going to do a little bit of damage here. But just they both have Vikings up to counter this. So it looks like the Banshee play didn't really do too well. And it looks like, oh, he's actually going to go ahead and block that expansion.
This is so annoying to do.
It's a different type of Hellion harass there.
Oh, but even so, we have another Banshee that's going to come in, and he was so successful with the first Banshee that he decided, guess what, I'll just throw a second one in here, picking off another 3, another perhaps 4 SCVs, 5 SCVs, before the Viking is able to kill it. Finally, Why So Intense comes in here into the natural, and he's able to clean up the natural so he can start mining, but it's might be a little too late. Nameless has already been mining on his natural expansion for quite some time.
Yeah, Why So Intense is just not picking up in his supply. He's been around 30 supply for quite a while now, and it looks like Nameless is just getting more and more ahead. He's got a lot of minerals saved up. Nameless is actually going for a third, whereas Why So Intense is not. So in terms of supply and in terms of macro, it looks like Nameless is getting quite a bit ahead here.
Why So Intense going ahead and adding a few siege tanks to his lineup here. Let's take a look at the units tab. We can see that it's 4 tanks to 4 tanks. The air battle is actually going to go in Why So Intense's favor.
Wow, look at the harvester count. Nameless with 46 SCVs to Why So Intense's 17.
Absolutely disgusting. Wow, Nameless, he's just going to out-macro his opponent, build a giant army, go 200-200, and raffle stomp him. That's his plan, I think.
He even has Blue Flame on the way, and it is almost done.
Oh, let me see here. Does he have let's look at the units tab. He might go for some Blue Flame Hellion drops. We've seen that in the past from him, but you know, it's definitely something that he can use to shut down his opponent. But actually, he might go for some mech play here. He does have 3 factories up. He's going ahead and getting those very critical upgrades that you need.
That's absolutely right, Dr. Zillot. I was actually noticing that he was dropping the 2 armories so that he can get the upgrades for the vehicles, which is great if he's going mech, and that's a great indicator that he's actually going to go ground mech, that he's upgrading his ground attack and defense. Yeah, I did notice when I was watching earlier today that the other caster's mic was a little bit too loud.
Yeah.
I apologize, guys.
We'll fix it after this game. It appears that the mic keeps setting its volume up really high.
Weird
let's
issues.
Let's try doing that. Maybe
Okay.
that will fix it temporarily.
Now I feel like I'm something from Star Trek here. Oh my god, this drop is going to be denied. He only gets 2 Hellions out. And let's see what kind of harass he can do with these Blue Flame Hellions. I mean, he's going to lose a lot of Harvesters, but it looks like he's moving them away quite well. These Banshees are going to be able to pick it off, though. And I don't think it was really worth it to lose 2 Blue Flame Hellions. And how many workers did he kill there? I don't think very many at all.
He killed 1 worker.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't worth it. It was a good idea. What? Alright.
Yeah, but even so, even though he was able to clean up the drop, Why So Intense is still only on 2 bases. Now, this is getting more saturated. But now he's, look at this 3rd base, he's just dropping all of his mules on this 3rd base so he can get as many minerals as possible. And I got a feeling that he might even drop a 4th base here shortly, and never mind, that's just another factory.
Yeah, Nameless is definitely going tech heavy. Blue Flame Hellions and tanks. And, yeah, it looks like he's saving up a lot of energy on his orbitals, though, which is kind of interesting. Usually players in this league are able to disperse that correctly among the command centers. What am I talking about? I'm confused. I'm tired. Dr. Zillot, pick up my slack.
It's cool. We're just having fun here. Although this is the Game Clux Platinum and Diamond Grand Finals. We're seeing a really passive game, actually, from both of these players. Both these players, I guess, respecting each other quite a bit. And if we look at the information that each player has, actually, Why So Intense has quite a bit more information about his opponent, and I think that's why he's playing a little bit more defensively, and he is going ahead and expanding to this 3rd. Now, we do have a scan coming down here from Nameless. Nameless, he is going to catch the tail end of this army here. There are 15 siege tanks in this army, which, or excuse me, actually 12. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. So 12 siege tanks in this army versus the 15 of Nameless. But Nameless has the better economy, so if Why So Intense loses this engagement, even if he trades evenly, he's going to be really far behind.
Yeah, we see Why So Intense actually checking to see if he has his 4th base yet. I don't know if he's going to go for the... Oh, if he stays up on this high ground, he might actually have the advantage to overcome a bigger army here. But it does look like Nameless is getting 2-2, and 2-2 is almost finished for his mech units. His mech ground units, actually.
Oh, and very critically, he's able to take the air advantage, and he kills every single Viking. That's going to allow him to get that sight range on the tanks, and now he's going to be able to leapfrog these tanks very smartly, taking 3 tanks down to the low ground. He wants to CGs up here, and then he just wants to take these tanks 1 by 1 and take out everything that Nameless has. But Nameless, he's just going to stomp in here with all of his tanks, take out the 3. He still doesn't have the air advantage, though. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, it looks like Why So Intense definitely has the advantage in regards to vision, but the fact that Why So Intense did want to put those on the low ground without moving his additional tanks forward a little bit is going to take away from that positional advantage that he does have up on the high ground. And it looks like Nameless is still, I mean, look how much more supply. He's coming up on 100 more supply than Why So Intense, which is definitely going to be one of the deciding factors.
We do have a Hellion run by here at the 3rd. They're going to decide to target this siege tank here, and instead of targeting the SCVs, but the SCVs, they're clumping up.
They're
One
coming
good
to it.
shot. Oh, and all those SCVs go down. Now he wants more blood. He wants to go in here into the natural, but he's not going to be able to find anything there.
I love this little Hellion against tank play here. Hellions are like known for not being able to kill things that are armored or buildings or anything like that, but it looks like he's just like, screw that, I'm just gonna go in and try to kill all of those tanks with my Hellions. Very bold. He knows he's ahead here. And it looks like he does have the vision with these Vikings. Where are Why So Intense's Vikings?
It looks like he lost all of them.
Oh my god.
Nameless has the air advantage, the supply advantage. He does not have the high ground though, so Nameless is being very careful about how he walks in here. Why So Intense? He's in sort of a catch-220 situation here. He can't even retreat. If he was going to retreat, he could get cut off over here on the other side by Nameless. So Nameless has him in a bad spot here.
That's true, and both players are playing mech, which is it's notorious for being immobile and not being able to kind of just like, surround and do all that stuff. So it's really going to be kind of a slow progression of who's going to win here. But it looks like Nameless is just going to move his tanks up, push us in, and I think take off the rest of this little contain here that Why So Intense has. It's nice though, Why So Intense has two sides of this engagement here, which is important. It's sort of like multi-pronged as tanks can get.
The bases are equal, although we are seeing an additional command center coming up from Nameless right now. It is going to be a mech versus mech play here, ladies and gentlemen, and more tanks are going to be coming in here. This is a nice, huge circle.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. What a concave.
Wow, do you see the upgrades though? It looks like Why So Intense is only getting 1-2, whereas Nameless is already almost has finished 3-3, which is interesting. He definitely has the advantage here in this game. He is 80 supply ahead still. And I really don't think that this measly little contain here is going to do anything to Nameless at this point. Nameless just has a positional advantage. It doesn't even matter that Why So Intense has a little bit of a concave here.
The turrets are going to go up for Why So Intense. He wants to keep this contain. He knows that if he loses this contain, he's going to lose the game. But the siege tank hits are just going to take those turrets out almost immediately, deciding to reposition them back here. He's going to go to try to break the back of the beast, though, and the Thor actually just dies instantly. Oh,
Beautiful analogy there, Dr. Zealot.
Thank you, Tara.
And
Why
the shit
So
goes down for Why So
Intense?
Intense.
He's lost so many tanks here that now Nameless is just going to be able to move up the ramp here and take this high ground position. This is going to be a really bad thing for Why So Intense. Now he's not able to deny this fourth any longer.
I'm definitely anticipating a GG at any point here from Why So Intense. As soon as he realizes that he's pretty much just out macroed and microed in this situation. And it looks like Nameless is coming up on 200 supply, whereas Why So Intense is still down there at 100 and kind of just struggling there on his 3 bases. It doesn't even look like his 3rd base is fully saturated with harvesters.
And here we go, Nameless moving everything forward, just destroying and walking over the units of Why So Intense. Even so, he lost quite a bit of supply, but here's the thing. Nameless has almost 3k minerals in the bank. He can just remake everything. He's got 4 bases up. He's got almost 2 mining bases up. Whereas Why So Intense, well, he's got 2 mining bases of his own. Well, 3 mining bases, what?
Oh, do you see that Hellion harass there at his 3rd base at Why So Intense's 3rd? Just one Hellion is being a hero here, just picking off a lot of the harvesters.
Oh, but Why So Intense saying, I'm not out of this yet. He wants to take his 4th. And
Interesting.
This might work out for him if it's not spotted, but here we go. We have a drop here coming from Nameless. He wants to keep the pressure on at the 3rd base of Why So Intense. He wants to get some more of that harvester count down. Meanwhile, the standoff at OK Corral here in the middle of the map between Siege Tank and Siege Tank, between SCV and SCV, and man and man and woman and woman.
Wow, it looks like Nameless is just taking that one dropship base to base and just picking off all of Why So Intense's harvesters.
This one tank is just actually going to be able to push him away. He sees that there's nothing that he can kill there, so he decides, guess what? I'm just going to go hang out over here. I'm going to wait for everything to come back. Then I'll kill it.
It would be nice to kill off those mules, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they mine 400 extra minerals on top of your harvesters that are already mining. So that would be a pretty big hit to someone who's lost so many and probably isn't up with his harvester production at the end of the game.
We have the harvesters that were sitting out here in the field, the SCVs, now transferring to the 4th base of Why So Intense. Why So Intense realizing that he really needs to get those critical minerals so that he can start building an end-game army now that he himself is getting Terran Vehicle Weapons level 3 up. That advantage that we saw that Nameless had, the upgrade advantage, you know, I don't think he was able to utilize it in time, and now Why So Intense, he might actually make a comeback here, believe it or not.
I see Nameless taking his 5th base now as well, and constantly on the minimap I'm like slowly seeing that little contain there from Why So Intense dwindling away. Oh, and it looks like Nameless is going to move in with his tanks. He doesn't even care to siege them. He's going to just come from all sides and just take out all those tanks that are nicely positioned by Why So Intense. But is he going to lose too much here by just going into this tank line?
The contain has been broken, and now it is siege tank line versus siege tank line, dividing this map in half. Whoever can take sort of this positional advantage will be able to snipe the base of the other. So we can see the tanks here for Why So Intense. Really, he should be able to go down here and snipe this base. I don't think he knows about it, though. We can definitely go and check. Yeah, he has no idea.
He hasn't even traversed that part of the map at all during this game.
Oh, but these tanks.
Oh,
they
look
might
at all
be
those
able
harvesters.
to do so much damage.
Oh my god. Oh! Oh, the Blue Flame Hellions come in to counter the tanks.
Oh my god, the tanks got so much done.
Blue Flame Hellion and SCV attack squad. That is beautiful there.
That did such a great job. The worker supply almost even for both players now, although the army supply for Nameless is double that of Why So Intense. Why So Intense is just in this great positional advantage right now. He's got these tanks spread out so well that it's hard to take him down.
Here he goes to do another push onto Nameless's 4th base. But he has so many Blue Flame Hellions. And it looks like Why So Intense actually has more Vikings, so he's going to overcome that aspect. But Nameless is definitely going to clean that up before it takes any more harvesters out. This is definitely one of the most exciting things about TVT, is that it's a mirror match, and it's also a positional mirror match, so someone can play much, much better, and the other person can actually come back in the game if he just has the better positional advantage, the better concave, and the better attack strategy.
We do have a run by here into the main. Three Blue Flame Hellions making up here into the main. They're going to get so many SCV kills right now if Why So Intense does not react. And even if he does, they are really fast. They're going to be able to catch up. And now they're just going to sit here and, well, they're going to be shooting those buildings for quite a while. Now they're going to get cleaned up.
I don't know how smart that was, because going into the main base, I mean, the minerals are already almost mined out. There was only a few SCVs there. It really looks like Nameless is kind of just grabbing at straws with these Blue Flame Hellions. Does he not know that he is taking his 4th and 5th? He's right there, he should know. It's weird that he's not using those drops and just cleaning up some of the SCVs there at his 4th.
Yeah, he has no idea. Neither player has no idea about the 5th, but the map is officially divided in half. There's only so many minerals on the map. They've gotta... Someone's got to push at some point. This is now turning into a starvation match. And actually, Why So Intense, even though we saw him down very early in the game, he's staying in this game. I don't know how he's doing it, but with this positional advantage that he's had in the middle, the concave that we saw here earlier, and now the spread of the tanks that we're seeing here now in the mid, he's just so able to effectively zone his opponent out and prevent his opponent from taking down his mining bases.
Why So Intense taking out a few more of Nameless's tanks. He definitely has crossed over that border, and he's over into Nameless territory here. And it looks like Why So Intense does have the better tank count. Is that right?
Yes, we can go take a look at the tank count. Why So Intense with 31 tanks versus 19 tanks. Oh my goodness. Why So Intense, in fact, for the first time in the last 20 minutes, increasing Nameless in supply.
Oh
This
my
is the
God.
comeback of the month here.
Of ever.
Of ever.
Wow, and Why So Intense has actually found out about Nameless's 5th base and is coming in to clean that up. And it looks like he's actually going to lose all of these harvesters here. And he's going to block that expansion from dropping down anymore. Go in and kill those! Yes, and it looks like there are no more harvesters there at the 5th.
Meanwhile, while he's
Wow.
while he's positioned his tanks to take out his 5th, Nameless deciding, guess what? If you're attacking over there, there's no way you can hold this position either. So he's forcing him to lift that, but actually not doing a lot of damage. He's going to have to go back to base now that he knows that he's left the 5th base of his own.
This is a true mirror match now here. And if you look at the supply, it's actually in favor of Why So Intense now. 86 to 64. Nameless is down a little bit. This is a true mirror match here, and this is a true comeback here for Why So Intense.
Taking a look at the mining bases of Nameless, he only has the 4th and the 5th mining. Meanwhile, Why So Intense has very smartly mined out his very smartly mined his bases. He's got plenty of minerals left in the natural, in the 3rd, in the 4th, in the 5th, and even some in the main, believe it or not. He really did a good job with how he positioned his mules in the game, and that allowed him to keep some very key minerals that were a lot easier to defend as opposed to some of these outer bases. Now these outer bases are getting mined out, so it's gonna have to come down to something crazy, and we do have a battle cruiser.
Yeah.
Actually 2 battle cruisers out on the map.
I'm excited to see what's going to be better here, Thor or Battle Cruiser, because it looks like that's the tech difference here between these two players.
And it looks like Nameless wants to go Air Terran. He wants to go Sky Terran. He's got 19 Vikings on the map. He's got 2 battle cruisers. If we look at the production tab, he's got 3 battle cruisers in production. And Why So Intense? He knows this. He's producing his own Vikings, but he needs to catch up in the Viking supply quickly. He's going to try to go ahead and take down some of these battle cruisers, but he sees the large Viking count. He knows he's going to be outgunned here. He needs to get out of here.
This is definitely the point, Dr. Zealot, where both Terran are just really stressed out, not really knowing where they fit here and who is actually ahead, and just going back and forth with these engagements here. It looks quite stressful for both players here. Oh my god, and it looks like Nameless is going to take out every single one of Why So Intense's Vikings, and it looks like he's going to have no more Viking count. He still has those battle cruisers. And the nice thing about the Vikings is that you can always drop them, you know, kill some harvesters.
Meanwhile, we have an attack over here at the 4th of Why So Intent, or excuse me, of Nameless. And he wants to try to take this 4th out, but it's not going to be enough. The Thors and the siege tanks from Nameless are going to be able to clean it up. Meanwhile,
Nice
Nameless
cleanup.
hasn't been mining from this 5th base at all, while Why So Intense has been just dropping mules left and right at his own 5th. So the economic advantage, if we take a look at the resources tab, the economic advantage, believe it or not, is in Why So Intense's favor, mining 1,400 minerals a minute, 1,500, 1,600 minerals a minute.
You are very right, Dr. Zealot, but it looks like Nameless is up about 20 supply. Oh, and the GG is dropped by Why So Intense.
GG says Why So Intense. Game 1 goes to Nameless.
Very high stress game there, Dr. Zealot. That was very interesting to watch. I'm actually going to log into my own so I can spectate now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo!
Yeah, a great game there by both competitors. Why So Intense actually with an incredible comeback there. I am so surprised he was able to hang in the game for as long as he was able to.
Exactly. If you would have asked me 15 minutes ago who would win this game and to what certainty I thought they would win, I would definitely have said Nameless and about 90%. So I'm actually excited to see that there was a comeback there. It was looking like both players could win.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we're between matches, what I want you to do is go to Twitter and tag at GameClux in your tweet. Tell your friends, tell your family, call your grandma, tell them to tune in to twitch.tv/GameClux. We want to get as many viewers as possible. This is a tournament here in Linwood, Washington, and this is the Platinum and Diamond Grand Finals. Now, after the Platinum and Diamond Grand Finals, we are going to have the main tournament, and this is where you're going to see the Masters, the Grandmasters, and even professional players come out. We have some members from Team Light in the house. We have NRS. I believe we have. Let me see here. Let me make sure. I believe we have NRS Sonic in the house. He's an amazing player, one of the best players in the United States of America. So, ladies and gentlemen, please tell your friends and family to tune in, because this is just gonna get more sick.
Sick in a good way.
Sick in a good way. Now it looks like the next match will be WCS Entombed Valley.
My laptop needs a positional advantage here, Dr. Zealot. There we go. So many wires here at GameClux today.
We're going to invite everyone to the game.
Oh, I need to join the chat, don't I? Oh, dude, I like totally broke my... There we go.
I got you.
You got me? So is everything okay on the technical end for my mic?
Yeah,
now?
is the volume okay, ladies and gentlemen?
Let us know, beautiful people, what you think.
They are pretty handsome.
They're very handsome. I can see through into their computers. Streamception.
Alright, it looks like Why So Intense. He needs 1 second to get ready. I think he's probably reviewing the well, maybe not reviewing the replay, but he is getting something done. Alright, the volume is excellent.
The volume is excellent.
The volume is almost as handsome as the people in the chat, but they
No.
are more handsome because they're going out and they're getting their friends to tune in to this excellent stream here at GameClux.
Yes, make an account for your dogs on Twitter and then retweet the things that GameClux does tweet so that we can get even more exposure.
That's exactly what
Because
you
you know everyone with their pets, they have a lot of like followers for their pets because the pets are like cuter than the owners, you know. It's great marketing here, people.
I didn't
Marketing 101.
I didn't know about this. Should I make a Twitter account for Mr. Goggles? Is that what you're telling me?
You should.
All right. All right. Both players are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. The countdown has begun. The picture-in-picture is now on. Oh my gosh, technology so good. We're going to get this started. It's going to be Why So Intense versus Nameless. Nameless, man, if he takes this game, he's going to take the whole Platinum and Diamond bracket, whereas Why So Intense has to win. He has to win 4 more games. He has to win 2 games in a row first for this best of 3, and then he has to win the next best of 3 to win the grand finals. So things aren't looking so good for Why So Intense right now. He's got to have the comeback of his life.
I've got the excitement and jitters, Dr. Zealot.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce the players.
Alright, in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran this time. Why So Intense?
Why So Intense, Tara?
Why?
I don't know. And up here, in the top right-hand corner, he is the blue Terran. He is the man without a face, the man without a head, the man without a name. He is nameless.
Yes, because apparently if you do not have a name, you also do not have a face or a head.
That's correct. Scientifically proven. I know because I'm a doctor.
What's
Now-
not good? What are they talking about?
Why So Intense?
They're talking about last game.
Yeah.
Last game was very intense.
Of course, I forgot to switch camera. This
Happens to the best of us, Dr. Zealot.
It happens to the best of us. Now, one thing I really like about this map, Entombed Valley. Even though this is an older map in the map pool for the ladder, I do like this bridge between the natural and the third. And the great thing about that is, as a Terran player, you can nuke this bridge. If your opponent, has a big army, especially a mech army, you can nuke this bridge and force them to make a choice. Do I defend my natural or defend my third? And meanwhile, if you're very quick and you have a bio army, you can stem in and take out this third. Or you can do some fun tricks by landing a barracks here or landing a factory here, and you can just basically delay the army from that much more. You can trap them all here in the natural and go and pop out the third. So there's some interesting things that you can do on this map.
I agree. I love this map, especially for the potential that you have for defense, like putting tanks up on that little ridge there. And also you have the bigger potential for more aggression, as you can, run up the ramp and just kind of surprise your opponent, because the third is a little bit farther away, even though it is up on the high ground, as opposed to other maps. And it looks like we're seeing a pretty similar build. They both have a gas down. Oh, actually, no. It looks like Nameless does not have a gas down yet. So it looks like we're going to see something different a little bit out of Nameless this time.
And Datenchi in the chat saying, "Ganbatte, Dr. Zealot." That is Japanese for "do your best."
Oh.
Thank you so much, Datenchi. You're so fun.
You're so fun.
I don't know if Datenchi knows, but I do speak Japanese, so suge iroppoi, yay!
Yay!
The
I'm
chat
confused.
is full of love and excitement for this match, and so am I. Now we do have 3 racks coming out here from Why So Intense and the Tech Lab with the stem at 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Wow.
That's a really quick stem.
This is going to be terrible for Nameless, who's actually going for a 1 racks expand this time, and he is probably not going to be able to defend any kind of 3 racks early 1 base aggression here. This is going to be a very interesting, maybe quick game.
Yeah, Why So Intense saying, "I don't want to go to that late game. It's really intense for me. I want to go ahead and just knock you out right this second." Now the command center morphing in, or the orbital command morphing in for Nameless here on the low ground. And 2 more racks coming in. He might be able to get enough bio units up in time, but the bio units are already well on the way for Why So Intense.
That's true, and it looks like, yeah, I was looking to see, oh, he just scanned now, but I was wondering if he put down those 2 racks as a reply to seeing that he was going mass racks and 1 expand, but it looks like he didn't know that yet.
Why So Intense here? He's going ahead and pooling up the Marauders and the Marines at the bottom of the ramp. He doesn't want any scouting information coming in, so hanging at the top of the ramp is a really nice play here. Just popping in and out of that ramp. Doesn't want anything going on.
And it looks like Nameless is actually opting for combat shields first, which is going to give him an advantage if he does have a lot of Marines to kind of, negate that stim attack. But I think stim would be the better option here if we're going to see some early aggression.
Why So Intense going ahead and moving out on the map. He's going to reveal his hand here, and Nameless might smell what's cooking in the heart of the Intensity Man. Some call him The Rock, but most call him Why So Intense. And in fact,
Harvesters are
wow.
moving into position to repair these 2 bunkers here. It looks like he's ready for this attack, and let's see how well he fares against
he did
this
scout
early
it.
Marine Marauder.
He scouted it.
Yeah, he scouted it. He scanned quite a bit ago, and it looks like he's coming across the map here. I don't think he's going to be able to do too much damage with the repair.
Yeah, honestly, what he really should do is stem 1 Marine in, see what's going on here, and as soon as he sees these double barracks with the SCVs in position, just go ahead and get out of here.
And he
in
did
fact,
exactly
look
that.
at that. Look at that. Such a smart play. This is why So Intense is a Diamond Terran player.
You gotta love Dr. Zealot for predicting something and then calling it smart once it happens. Dr. Zealot. Just a bit conceited.
Well, if he didn't stem the Marine up there, then he could have lost a huge amount of his army and he would have had to commit to the attack. Instead, he's deciding to go in the side door here. I'm not sure what he's trying to get done with this. Maybe he's just trying to get a different concave here on the bunker. You know, he's on the high ground, so he has a little bit of a better advantage.
Yeah, they will have the... Actually, bunkers have a bigger vision range. So, even though it's a better advantage... Oh, and then it looks like they moved out of the bunker. So if he just stims in right now, he can actually take this army out.
Stimming in. Here's the big attack. But the SCVs are already in position. He's just... Oh, he's wasting the stem, just running back and forth. And he's not going to be able to get the damage that he's looking for.
Yeah, this is not going to do anything to a bunker that is being repaired. I think he should have targeted down those bio units that are out of the bunker, rather than actually trying to take out a bunker that's being repaired at the moment. And it looks like Stim is going down for Nameless as well. Combat shields, alternatively for Why So Intense. And just a bit more Marine Marauder production for Why So Intense compared to the tank production. No, this isn't a tank. I have a very small screen, ladies and gentlemen. I am looking at an engineering bay and thinking that it's tank production. So 2 engineering bays are on the way for Nameless.
Oh, wow. And the early economic advantage from Nameless is showing here, going up to 83 supply already. And the counterattack is going to be coming right here from Nameless. Marines are streaming across the map. He wants to go up into Why So Intense's base and end the game right here. There's a huge number of Marines and medevacs that are coming right now. He goes ahead, he scans, he sees that the army supply is not enough. The stem goes down. He's going to be able to pick up a large number of kills. He goes into the natural, and now he's just going to try to take down and do as much damage as he possibly can. Is he going to be able to get the command center? The orbital command falls.
Very nice.
Now, Why So Intense on the back foot. Can Nameless take this final game? Is Nameless your Platinum and Diamond champion?
It looks like he might be, unless he backs off here and just uses this as a little poke. I mean, denying this expansion. GG is dropped by Why So Intense, and Nameless takes it.
Nameless is your champion, ladies and gentlemen.
Very nice. And
well
see, the thing there
Nameless.
was he kind of did an all-in there with that one base. Why So Intense did, and the fact that Nameless was able to have a better Marine medevac composition. Marauders just aren't as good against mass Marines with medevacs. They just don't have the DPS. So it was obvious that when he came in with that many Marines and medevacs, he was going to take out that heavily maraudered army there.
Yeah, the timing.
Very nice.
The timing was also just so good by Nameless.
Perfect timing.
He had the combat shields up, and the 1-1 was not done for Why So Intense yet. So, you know, it was just very well played there by Nameless, being able to read the mind of his opponent. Some people call that Yomi, and just going in there and just winning the game so handedly. You gotta see this guy. You gotta wonder if Nameless is how far he's gonna get into the main tournament, which is coming up next.
I'm very excited to see how far he can go. It's really kind of overwhelming for a lower league player to get up there with the Grand Masters and the Masters, so I'm excited to see how well he does and see if nerves kind of kick in, and if he can actually hold his own in leagues that are above him. So I'm excited to see the next matches, and I'm glad that I got here, despite the traffic.
Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go find our next matches. The main tournament is already underway. We're going to put the brackets up for you here in just a few minutes. Sit tight, don't go anywhere. And while we're setting up the next match for you, go ahead and go to Twitter, go to Facebook, tell everybody about us. We'll be right back.